Hi, I'm Ildiko Spinfisher. I'm the founder of Life Retuning, a psychological human energy-based modality which sidesteps the mind. I'm known as the Quantum Wizard. I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs globally to unlock their greatest potential and upgrade their success. I run workshops and courses teaching about energy wisdom. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to share with you on the Be Woke podcast show, and I want to thank you for being here with us today.
Hi everyone, my name is Julie Salant and I am an animal communicator and transformational intuitive coach. My gift is that I am able to see negative energies that are blocking you and remove them with light language and bring in positive energy to bring you back into alignment. I'm also an animal communicator and I really love talking with Ildiko because she brings the science to what our discussions are and I'm the intuitive part. Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to having you on all the podcasts. Thanks so much.
Hi everybody. We are so excited to welcome you to the Be Woke podcast show and the next episode. Julie and I are just really delighted to have this opportunity to share our discussions with you, which cover every part of consciousness and moving into the new paradigm of how to live. So today we are starting with the theme of raising your vibrations, raising your mood in the season of winter, where it's quite easy to have a downer and feel that you're stagnating. So this is what we're going to be discussing. Julie.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with Ildiko today. We have so much to talk about, and we know that this is the time of year where everybody is kind of down. So we thought that raising your vibration and getting into alignment would be the perfect discussion for today's podcast. So we are thrilled that you are here, and let's dive in. Yes.
Okay. So there are many ways that you can raise your vibrational state, but one of the things that we need to be aware of is how other people affect us and our moods. And Julie and I were discussing this just before we came on live about how people around you, if they have a low mood, then it's likely that it can affect you. And this is something called emotional contagion. So there's a scientific research background to this, which was started back in the, I think it was 1990s. There was a young woman who started working in an office environment, and she found that there was quite a sort of dead energy around the workmates that she had. And she would go in every day, and it was a little bit of a chore, really, to spend the day in the office. And she kind of escaped from her work every night and didn't really enjoy the idea of going back in. But you know what happens? We kind of get used to situations. We accept them as the way they are. So she just accepted that this was what her job space would be like. One day she came in, and instead of a dead, stagnant energy, she found that people were chatting, they were laughing and joking, they didn't have their heads down and just kind of blocking everybody out of their workspace. And she thought it was very extraordinary because she didn't really see what could have changed this environment. She loved it, and she thought, well, hey, you know, maybe, I don't know, something's changed, but I'm really grateful for it. So let's just accept it. And then at the end of the week, she went in the next day, and it was back to the same old miserable, stagnant, locked down energy. And she had a real question mark about this. What had actually changed in order for this to come back, this horrible energy? So she started checking. She was a researcher anyway. She started checking to see what could possibly have changed, what factors there were that could have changed. The boss was the same. There were no changes in company policy. Nobody had left. Nobody had joined the company. She went through every single thing that she could think of. There was only one thing that had changed, and that was that one of her co-workers who worked on the front desk had been on holiday for a week and then had come back.
Okay.
And what she discovered was that because of this particular individual's negative attitude, she would always complain. She found things, difficulty with everything that she was asked to do. She came in and complained about her home situation and so on and so forth. One single person could completely alter the energy and the mood of the entire company.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
I believe that. I've experienced it.
Right. I think all of us have in some capacity. So whether it's in your workspace or at home, the message really here is to become aware of the effect of other people on you, and look to mitigate that effect. Because this particular young woman, she's called Sigil Barsad, and she actually went on to base her career, would you believe, on what she had observed. And she became a professor at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. So she based her entire career on this emotional contagion that we can experience. And it happens on an unconscious level. But I would say one of the things to do is become consciously awake and aware to the effect others are having on you.
I love it. I completely understand it from an intuitive point of view. I'm always saying that we are always putting our emotions into and our vibration into our electromagnetic field. Quite simply, if you feel negative or you're angry or frustrated and you go home, that kind of seeps out and spreads. It's in your field. And then when you get home and your spouse is there or your child's there, they can feel all of that what's in your electromagnetic field or your bubble. Yeah. So I completely understand that. I guess my biggest question would be, how can I help balance someone else out if they're in that state, but I'm in a good state? I'm I'm great. I'm filled with joy. I'm where I should be. How can I help them, or what can I do?
So the thing about when we are in a good, happy state and we're affected by somebody else's mood, is that we are on some level carrying that vibration. So emotions, as we've discussed before, are vibrations of energy. And somewhere, whether it's on the unconscious level or somewhere where it's hidden from our conscious mind, we are actually transmitting that vibration ourselves, but in a weak state. So this comes down to the behavior of waves of energy. There is constructive and destructive wave behavior. So destructive wave behavior is where, you know, when you get an energy wave and you see the peaks and the troughs, like if you look at the heartbeat or brain waves, you see that this is the structure, the peaks and the troughs. So if you have two frequencies, energy frequencies that are the same, the waves come together and they do one of two things. They either completely flatline the frequencies, which is destructive wave behavior, or they will amplify. So the frequency that one wave carries will be times by 2. And this is what's happening often with our emotional states. When somebody comes in and starts transmitting the same wave frequency as what we're carrying unconsciously, we will be affected. So if it's a low mood state, no matter how high your energy is, you will likely be affected by that amplification. So the answer is deal with your own inner stuff. I would say, ask the question, why did my mood drop? And then do your own internal investigation into where you may be carrying that mood yourself, and then deal with it.
Yes, yes. And I can so see that. And I know from working in offices that one person, or say your boss, you can come in a great mood. And if that one person is angry or frustrated, that changes everyone around. It doesn't just change one person, it can change
That's
every
right.
single person that they're talking to. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. So now if that happens,
Mm.
now you have amplified the wave of how do I say this? Well, you said they're not deconstructed. So in other words, if I came in a bad mood and I've got, 8 people working with me and I've brought all of
Mm.
them to
Mm.
my negative state, has that amplified the negative state times 8?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically,
Oh,
everybody's in a
wow.
bad mood. So the great thing is that once you actually deal with that within yourself, that emotion, and it no longer exists, you are no longer affected by other people's similar emotional state, because there is no correlation. So you just don't amplify anything anywhere anymore. You can just ride it out. You come in, you can have that smile on your face and be feeling great, and it doesn't really matter who's in any bad mood, because it's not going to hit you anymore.
Interesting, because I feel like there must be a breaking point in your emotional state as to what will actually bounce off of you. Kind of
Hmm.
like if you're in such a high vibe state, anybody could say anything, it goes right off you like a duck off
Yeah.
water, right? You just don't care, it doesn't
Yes.
bother you. But
Yes.
I wonder what state you would be at if it's kind of like right in the middle where it could go either way and it will affect you and you'll take it in.
Mm. Well, that's the question, isn't it? I think it's an
Yeah.
individual thing, because we are made up of complex emotions, complex thought structures. We have an energetic blueprint. It's almost like a energetic fingerprint or thumbprint. So we're all different, and so we'll be affected in different ways. But as I say, certainly from my own perspective, from my own life, I will always ask the question, why did I feel like that? Why am I being affected by that person's mood? And then I will check in with myself and find that vibration through the life retuning work that I do, and just negate it. So the next time I go, I can't even recognize why that person would have affected me the last time.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
And does your body remembers all of these vibrations, correct? They even if you can get out of that state, they know that vibration. Even if you said you're transmitting at a much weaker level.
Mm.
So you would be kind of ignoring it in my mind. Maybe not ignoring is not the right word. It would still be there, but it's not going to resonate with someone else.
So from the perspective again of how I work, if I take away a particular vibration, if it's no longer there, then there are no repercussions left. So actually, it's kind of like amnesia working with life retuning, because you just can't remember that there was a problem. You
Right.
can't. Your body actually doesn't hold that vibration, because it's cleared up. It's all obliterated on every level.
Right, right, which is the beauty of this, because that way you don't have to think about it anymore. It's just
Correct.
actually fixed.
Yeah.
So, what can
Yeah.
people do at home to maybe raise their vibration and change their state so that if they are that negative person, they can make those changes and be more self-aware?
So I would say the best way to work on this is to cultivate vibrations of gratitude, compassion, because those two are very powerful vibrational states. And if you can carry those into your environment and you can stay within that vibrational state, it will actually also affect the person who is in a negative state and bring them into a more balanced, coherent state if you can maintain it. And especially if you have the intention of maintaining it, not doing this unconsciously and reactively, but actually bringing it in as an intention. I wish to heal, I wish to bring other people into a state of bliss and feeling good about themselves. That intention is so powerful.
Let's talk about that, because a lot of people talk about intentions. I've done the gratitude thing for quite a while and it
Yeah,
does work. They say it's the
yeah.
fastest way to raise your vibration. I
Hmm.
totally believe that.
Mm.
And for newbies, if you've never heard this, it can be something as simple as I'm grateful for the food on my table. I'm grateful for the people around me. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be this grandiose, I'm grateful for, everything that I have, the air. It can be just simple, but intentions are very, very important.
Yes.
I'd like to just stop for a minute and talk about that, because we all say that, but very few people I meet actually set the intention and hold it. What does that look like for you and your clients?
So for me, I'm going to go to the science again. I wasn't going to bring the double slit experiment in, but I feel very much that this is the time to discuss why, intention works. So I'll tell you that from the double slit experiment, I'll explain it in a moment. The realization came and the conclusion came that the observer affects the observed. Now, this is very, very important to understand because this ties into intentionality, what our intention is in a given situation. So the double slit experiment was developed by Richard Feynman. There was a couple of other people, physicists, who also went and did this experiment before Richard Feynman, but he sort of made it famous. He was a physicist. And how it works is that you have two plates. So the first plate is a screen with two holes in. There's A and B. Then further back, there's a photosensitive screen. And so what they did was they fired photons of light. These are subatomic particles, which are absolutely minute, but they managed to develop a machine that could fire one subatomic particle at a time at this screen. Now, what would happen if you fire something? It's going to go either through slot A or slot B, right?
Yep.
So that makes sense, makes logical sense. So they were observing the experiment, and each time a photon was fired, it went through slot A or slot B. Now, what was happening on the back screen, because it was photosensitive, let's not forget, and photons of light are light. So there was a chemical reaction taking place on the screen, which meant that there were bands of darkness and light building up on the back screen, showing that a photon of light would go through slot A, and then the next one went through slot B, and we got these bands of light. Then what they did is they went off and left the experiment to run itself. When they came back, they were absolutely amazed because the back screen had a completely different pattern. There was an interference pattern showing up on the back screen. Now stay with me, because this is where it starts to twist your mind. Oh boy, this is really weird. This is where everything goes quantum at this point. So the only possible way that could have happened is if one photon of light, stay with me, was in two places at the same time and went through slit A and B at the same time, and then came back together on the back screen that kind of interfered with itself. I know.
How is that even possible?
Well, you can't use your logical mind. That's the thing. You cannot get this logically, okay? This is how quantum states work, because what it showed is that a subatomic particle exists in a wave formation state, which is a state of every potential of possibility in the same moment. Yeah. And it's when we observe it that it actually collapses into one state of actuality, our reality state. So let's go back to intention. If the observer affects the observed and the outcome, what intention you put into a situation is what will solidify into your reality. And that's why intention is so very important.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. I can't even, I don't even have any words for that.
It's extraordinary, but they've reproduced this experiment time and time and time again since Richard Feynman did it. And the results are the same every time. So this tells us about the fabric of reality, and that what we think is the way it is not at all. It's not the way we were told.
Right. And meaning also in a really cool way that you can create your own reality because you're the one setting the intention.
That's
and
right.
to think outside of the box of your limitations. So
Correct.
quite simply, if you see yourself as a profession, you're a secretary, but you really want to be a creative artist, seeing yourself and setting that intention is more important than we really know, because
and that's
in the body, it changes your state, changes your electromagnetic field, changes all your feelings that I feel. But what you're talking about is the science behind it. It's like they say, check your words. Your words are so powerful.
Yes.
And the intention combined with the words is kind of off the charts. Right?
Mega powerful blast. And so when you say about it doesn't matter what you put that gratitude state into, you're entirely correct. It's about the feeling that you're creating, not the thing that you're grateful about.
Yes. The feeling of the joy and the feeling of I'm so filled and I have abundance.
That's right.
Doesn't have anything to do with money. It's about the feeling that you have for other people and where you are. And that feeling is, but the intention, I didn't know that I knew intentions were, I get excited because I knew intentions were a big deal, but to hear it that way. And if you think about all the intentions you could ever think of, being positive with that joyful feeling is what's going to create your reality, as you said.
It's exactly that. And to me, it's complete freedom, because suddenly, if you know that, you can be completely empowered because you know that you have the choice to change your life and run it and live it the way you want. And it's not about the outside factors. It's about the internal vibration that you're transmitting.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to. It's the golden key to the universe.
Yes, which is all about doing the work within, not outside of you. All the change that you see around you happens within you, not outside of you.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. We are running out of time, guys. I know we do these things pretty quickly, 17 to 20 minutes, because I know that you're running, quickly in life, but please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have your comments as well. If you have questions for us, if you have comments, we'd love to look at them, and we can bring them up in a Q&A at some point, because I'm sure there will be questions. But thank you for being here today. And I'm so grateful for Ildiko. I'm so grateful for you talking about gratitude, for you being here today. Thank you so much, Ildiko.
Yes. Thank you so much for being with us here today. And I'm truly grateful for your wisdom as well, Julie. It's wonderful to hear from
this is amazing.
Your life and your experiences.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Take care.
We would like to take your hand and step into this year in a different, empowered way that no one is discussing. We invite you to come with us on this journey to show you a different way of being, to get to the deep truth of things, instead of having another year of ups and downs with the same patterns. In essence, we are going to help set you up for success.
We have a SMART 2-part experience just for the listeners. And the SMART experience is an acronym for: the S is for simplicity, the M is for motivation, the A is for action, the R is for reconnection, and the T is for transformation. And we are offering an expansive experience, first with Ildiko, who will remove blockages with energy, and then Julie, who will introduce the light language to infuse you with light, clarity, and positive purpose. So this is a large transformation in not only how you'll feel energetically, but also how you will experience and view the world and opportunities that are open to you. And this will be a session with each of us individually. If you'd like more information, please click the link, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast.